everybody, it's Gianna and welcome to the Can Do Divas. Today we're doing something just a little bit different. Usually Chasta and I welcome everyone to the show together, but I'm about to surprise her. She's headed to my house right now to film our next Can Do Divas episode. But little does she know that she is our Can Do Diva. She is our inspiration right now. She's actually days away from heading to Morocco, someplace she's always dreamed of going, and it's pretty much one of the top 5 things on her bucket list. So since today's episode is all about what's on your bucket list, things you want to do before you die, you know, kick the bucket, I thought it'd be really fun to surprise her with being our inspiration, our Can Do Diva. So shh, she should be here any minute. Okay, she's here. I know this because my dogs are going nuts. Hi, Chasta. Hi. I'm carrying a bunch of crap. Okay, so Chasta, yes, you don't know this.
No, I don't.
No, this is a surprise.
I don't know what we're doing.
It's not even a bad surprise. It's a good surprise. Okay. I'm going to close this because we don't advertise per package unless they advertise for us. Okay, so I was thinking we're doing this vlog on the bucket list.
Yes.
And you are our Can Do Diva.
What?
Here's the deal. Yes, you are. Now, Chasta and I would never call ourselves Can Do Divas. The whole purpose of our blog is to find inspiring women, people who, you know, do things in their life, they take a challenge and they make it happen, and they're just can-do people, can-do divas, which makes it even better. So you are about to cross off one of the biggest things on your bucket list, and you're just days away from going to Morocco.
Morocco.
Yes.
Yes.
So I just think that before you go, just want to hear how excited you are and tell you that you are a Can Do Diva. That's a huge, I knew she'd get emotional.
I'm really not a Can Do Diva, but
You are for taking a huge leap and going to a place that most people wouldn't necessarily think of. In the sense of you're not going to, you know, stay at the finest hotels. You're actually going to immerse yourself in the people, its culture, and what Morocco is about. So,
yes.
With that intro,
yeah, right.
okay. So, why did you pick Morocco?
Morocco is a long story, but very important. When I was a very little girl in school, you know, you have reading. You can go and pick out your own books at the library, but you have like reading that you have to do. And so I picked out a book that was about a little girl who lived in Morocco.
I never knew this about you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And so I wish today I could remember the story. I'm sure I'll find it at some point. But anyway, long story short, I think it was in like 4th or 5th grade, and it just kind of stuck with me. The colors and the vibrant, and it was mysterious, and camels, and it just was such a different place from Sulphur, Oklahoma, that I was like, I have to go. It gives me chills just thinking about it. I do. So anyways, fast forward to I was like in high school, and my best friend at the time, Allison, and I were obsessed with Almost Famous, the movie Almost Famous. And Penny Lane, Penny Lane always talked about Morocco. She wanted to move there. It was like, she talked about it so beautifully and eloquently that it just sounded as beautiful and mysterious as this book had put that picture in my head. And so that was the second thing. And then fast forward, I moved to LA and I start working as an assistant to an actor, and I met one of your favorite guys, Orlando Bloom. And sorry. And he told me that he went to Morocco and he fell so in love with it and just started talking about the people and the culture.
I'm sorry, he told you this.
Yes, he was.
Focus on Morocco.
Which is probably why I was like, okay, I'm going, because it was coming out of Orlando Bloom's mouth. But anyways, he was talking about how fantastic it was and how he loved it so much and loved the people and the culture. So I was like, that's it for me. I have to go. It's been a theme in my whole life. I've always had this vision of how beautiful it was. Your friend Jules
Jules has been there.
She's been there, and she talks about how wonderful it is. So I'm going. I got a great deal. My mom and I are going, and my husband's going with us too. So
are you totally excited? I mean, it's amazing that you're actually doing this. A lot of people dream of just crossing off one of the top 5 things on their bucket list, and that's what you're about to do. So,
exactly. Well, it's a top thing. I'm very scared. Well, I was a little nervous before this, but now that this whole Egyptian uprising and the Tunisia thing, I don't want to sound naive. I mean, I know that Morocco is very far away from Tunisia and Egypt, but it is a Middle Eastern country. It is a Muslim country. Women are definitely looked at differently there than here.
And you're going overseas in general.
Going overseas in general to another country, it's always a little nerve-wracking, but I'm proud of what Egypt is doing, and I think that it's a good thing. So, and Morocco, from what I understand, my research, because I've done a lot of research, especially in the last week, they're very happy with their king, supposedly. He's done great things. So I think we should be safe. But, you know, I mean, still, I'm going out of the country, out of my safe zone, and hopefully I'll make it back.
I am going to miss you terribly.
Oh, thank you.
I have 7 whole days. Actually, no, more like 10 days.
Yeah.
10 whole days without my best friend, a.k.a. Can Do Diva.
We see each other every day, just so we're clear.
Very strange. But honest to God, really, from the bottom of my heart, think you are such an inspiration.
Aww,
to truly, to go and do that. I mean, it's huge. It's
is
really
huge.
A big deal.
I can't wait to tell you every detail when I get home.
Yes.
You'll be the only person that I'll turn on my phone and text and turn it right back off.
But she's going to have a full report when she gets back.
Yes,
so.
I will.
Our bucket list today, or today's show, is about the bucket list. Chasta's crossing off a big one from her bucket list.
That's
and
right.
We hit the streets to find out what y'all think is exciting to do before you die.
You just said y'all.
I did.
So we're here with Chris Christensen. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for talking to us. So what is your big item on your bucket list?
Well, number one right now would probably be diving in the Red Sea.
So you're obviously a big diver.
Well, yeah, we've done quite a bit of diving. And the Red Sea has always been number one, or at least has been up until recently, number one dive in the world.
And why is that?
Because of why? Because of they say if you go a quarter mile, the thing you saw before changes color, changes shape.
I want to scuba dive on the Great Barrier Reef in Australia.
She is very, very brave. You're going to tell us something that you want to do that I would never do. What do you want to do on your bucket list?
I have always wanted to go skydiving.
Skydiving. Okay.
Just once, to go up with an instructor and glom on with the instructor and go. My daughter did this all by herself, and we have a video of her, and it was hysterical. She was loving every minute, scared to death. I want to do that.
I would like to put a feet on all the continents, maybe.
What would be the number one thing on your bucket list?
To go on a cruise line.
Oh, to where? Anywhere specific?
Not really.
So, bucket list items. What would be a top thing on your bucket list to get done before you kick the bucket?
Kick the bucket. Well, hope not anytime soon, but I guess like naturally I'd go with jumping out of a plane. Like I'm extremely afraid of heights, but that's a little too normal. Like I'm into music and I'm scared to death of like playing in front of crowds. So one of these days.
Farrah Fawcett, hair blown in the wind. Okay, maybe you should talk to your daddy, and he could take you on a cruise somewhere. Maybe to Mexico?
Maybe.
Bahamas?
Not really.
So, would you if you did it once? Do you think you would want to do it again?
I don't know.
You're like, once it checked off, it's checked off.
Just thinking about doing it at all.
Russell, what is a thing that you have on your bucket list you want to do before you die?
Write a hit song for the masses.
Hey, Chasta, so we found out what people have on their bucket list. Now it's time to see if anyone has ever accomplished anything they have on their bucket list. So is there something that you've done in your life that's on your list?
Bungee jumping.
How did it feel?
Pretty crazy. Yeah.
Why bungee jumping? Did you kind of just want to, I don't know, fly through the air?
Well, my 16-year-old son dared me.
He did it on a dare. Well, that's one way to do it. We're hanging out with Deborah right now. And Deborah, is there anything you've ever accomplished that's on your bucket list?
Well, let's see. I don't know if I can count this as being on my bucket list, but I did want to get my PhD, and I accomplished that.
We're hanging out with Alex here, and I guess you've got something on your bucket list.
Sure. I've always wanted to, it's kind of stupid, but recreate the Hanging Gardens of Babylon.
Why would that be stupid? That sounds, I don't even know what that means. Is there anything else left on your bucket list?
Well, let's see. I want to go to Italy for my 60th birthday and take my whole family with me. And I want to, let's see, what else do I want to do?
That goes the vote for our most creative bucket list answer for the day. Very cool.
I just started taking guitar lessons, which was also on my bucket list, so I just started that last week.
Now, is there anything that you've actually done that is on your bucket list?
I've started collecting plants, but I still need a giant, piece of land to put them on.
You are working towards.
Yeah, and I've always wanted to be like a skater and stuff. I'd still skate and breed reptiles and amphibians and all that stuff.
I'm scared of the snake. Anything else on your bucket list that you want to do?
They're right there, my kids. You just met them.
That's a good answer. All right, we'll end on that note.